go home once again. And got the scepter now, plus the cloth armor on top of those ninja tabi that he had earlier on after getting that first blood. And in middle, I think Attackman's going to be a real problem for Assis now. I don't know how the rest of this game's actually going to go. He's gone for Tear of the Goddess, first of all. Obviously, he is a kill ahead. Look at the burst damage. It's actually pretty ridiculous at the moment already from Attackman.
Yeah, Assis definitely having issues. See, you can see immediately he's having to keep his distance. Going to pick up the blue, something he didn't have at the start. Remember, Rise did have that blue early on, so it kind of helped him out. Certainly helped him farm through that phase. And now that he's got the Tear of the Goddess, like you say, he can just quite happily free farm, build up that mana pool, which is exactly what Rise needs. Down the bottom, you can see Gamed now both porting back, so they're going to go back and buy it. Let's see what they come out with. BF Sword straight away on towards Severe there. Remember, he did get that kill. Down the bottom, BF Sword and Boots to go with the Doran's Blade. It's going to be a nasty Severe down that bottom lane. Looking at Ramos just having a peek around, but I think he's going to return to jungle. Nothing coming of it. There is a ward there. So, generally, these are the ward placements that the people using are pretty much the static places that every single team would use. If you just look around the map, you can see the two in the river there as well, the tri-bush. The bottom one is personal choice, really, more than anything, down to, obviously, Janna and Tariq, etc., just the supports, whatever's up to their favour. And again, on the river, there's actually a bit of a lack of them on the river. There is just the one in the mid-bush, but nothing really up the top. So that tells me that Gangplank really isn't that worried about Ramos. Obviously, he can just eat his oranges and walk away from anything. So he's not particularly too worried about Nezrelis, I don't think. He has got a stack of minions with him at the moment, taking a fair bit of damage at the top there, though. And that wave is just going to build up. And the blue buff again being given across to Attackman, so he's going to take second blue buff. Janna at the moment just having to hold that bottom lane himself, because Graves has been back and bought. Actually seems to be waiting in the base, so waiting to buy something there by the looks of it. And he's got himself Berserker Greaves. So let's go back down the bottom there. Lee Sin coming down, so Sense is sensibly going to back off. Up towards the top. Oh, there's a gank at the top there, and Israelis does manage to get down towards Gangplank. And like I said, there was no wards. I said it. He didn't seem to be that worried about it, but Glucosa managed to make it count. Obviously, you know, he could use the oranges to get away from Glucosa's taunts, etc. Coming in towards the middle on Attackman at the moment. Will not get the stun on him because wisely used Attackman prisoning on towards Glucosa there. Like I said, he can easily just get out the taunt, but then again, Aurelia could stun straight away following it, which I'm guessing is what happened, because I just managed to catch the tail end of that fight.
Yeah, actually, he used his oranges to get away from the Aurelia stun.
Bottom.
Oh, Demigod going super low. Actually, shield coming on there, which is going to save her from that ignite that was down. Actually, Ramos is coming in as well for a bit of a sniff. Although, this lane is going to be far too heavily pushed. In fact, there's 1.5 waves there, so Ramos not going to waste his time hanging around. It looks like, yeah, this dragon attempt is going to come in. This ward has meant that Game have spotted the push coming in, but we are going to see Dragon started off at least. I think this could be a very dangerous position. We are going to see Ramos come in there. Rune Prism will go down. Attackman's actually used all of his abilities there very quickly to get the damage out, but it's not looking so good for Game. Sensor's going very, very low. He manages to get the kill onto Janna in amongst everything, but goes down anyway, and that's a 3-2 advantage in the kills for Peculiar.
Yeah, it didn't really work out, and Aurelia obviously wasn't there, didn't get down there quick enough, had no teleport, so was sprinting as hard as she could down from down the bottom. So despite getting that gank up the top, it's actually backfired on them, which can often be the case. Ramos taking out of that very early as well. You know, often you shouldn't go for the tank, but when he comes spinning in solo, he's like, all right, we'll kill you first. That's no bother, but the kills going to the right people as well. Graves and Rise picking up those kills, so they got 201, 202, whereas you look at the spread on Game side, so kind of backfiring a little bit for Game there. Nobody picking up the Dragon, of course, either. The Dragon was actually pulled. I think Ari pulled it. I'm not too sure. I didn't see who it was, whether Cease was the one that pulled it. It certainly looked like it was hitting onto Severe. I call it Severe, but it's Sivir, I guess the Americans like to call it. It's you know, tomatoes, and all that. Looking towards the top, you can see Gangplank now returning up there. Has got that Wriggles completed. 0-0-5, great score at the moment. with those support. Obviously, the gold that you do get from that support as well is around about 70% of the assist kill, depending on how many get the kill. Nezrelis is trying to farm it up, and he is out farming Gangplank at the moment. Obviously, they've had 1 kill apiece on each other. So 80 to 66. Meanwhile, down the bottom, you can see Ari just having to dodge away from as my left key manages to catch itself and get stuck, which is always pleasant. It's just stuck going left. What the hell? It's the control key. I'll have to hold the mouse there. It's all good. It's all good. Don't need to worry about that. The viewers will just have a epileptic fit for my mouse movements. But down the bottom, it's pretty even between the two. Obviously, we saw the BF sword being picked up very early, but haven't really managed to make it count. 93 for Siva and 75 for Graves. Graves, though, has got those 2 kills, 2-0-1. So, really isn't that stressed at the moment. You can see the gank attempt at the top there, but Nezrelis is just going to happily stroll away from that one. We do have Rammus coming in there. Ari following on. That's going to be a dive in there from Nezrelis. I'm not too sure whether Rammus is going to be able to get in and make it count. Yes, he will do. On towards Carriers there, but they're all going to get away from that. A lot of summoner spells blown there, though. Lots of flashes. And they are just going to back away from that one quite happily, Joe. I'm going to have to fix what the hell is going on with my keyboard.
Well, at the moment, Lukosa is actually coming in there, and we will see Attackman going very, very low, and actually Rammus managing to land onto both. He will go down low as well, and will back away from this one now. Very interesting stuff in this top lane. The great thing about Ari, she can spam that Q straight over the top and continue to do damage if she actually lands it, which, that one didn't quite end up in the right position. There's a ward in this Tribush from both teams, so they've got that vision around there. We have seen Rammus leave that position, and he's headed himself down towards blue, which is actually not very healthy at the moment. He's going to need the help from Ari to finish that one off eventually when they get there. Oh, God, very, very low there, but we are going to see the flash out there from Ari. Oh, and they've seen Attackman go very low. Actually, the Ignite will finish him off, but Irelia is there. And I think she can have Blunatics here as well if she wanted. The problem for Blunatics is that he can't really get away from this one. Both of them are pretty much out of mana. And they're just slogging away at this one. We are going to see Sand come in here with Taric, and I think Blunatics needs to get himself away as quickly as possible from this one. And he's going to get back to the turret, is he? He's going to sit on the turret. I think Irelia, no, can't really die for it. I mean, Taric really, really wanted to get in there and try and get the kill, but not quite having the speed to get anywhere near Gangplank. And they're always frustrating fights, especially for Irelia in that situation, knowing that so close to taking Gangplank down and just doesn't have the mana to actually finish things off.
Yeah, definitely a close fight there, and already, it's like you say, it's just like, I've got nothing left. I'll only need to do one ability and he'll die, but no, instead. But Nezrelis did pick up some nice kills there, and Rammus managing to escape. So that is going to even things off. You can see the gold bang on even between the two, 18.5k, 6 kills each. No turrets just yet been pushed. But down the bottom, while all that was going on, Siva and Graves were quite happily farming away, which is exactly what your AD carriers want to do. 117 to 102, so slight advantage at the moment to Severe. Obviously going to have, I'm guessing the bouncing blades will be up by now. Yes, you can see Boomerang Blade up to 5 as well. And he's quite happily farming down the bottom. At the top, you can see Nezrelis, they are on a push on him. Did use his ulti there, Gangplank. But I don't think there was really any danger of Nezrelis dying there. Surely got just about enough mana to use ulti, which looks like she did. Rammus having to cut off. Attackman and Karanius, again, they're coming across. They want to steal this blue buff. It's what they went for earlier. They did put that ward down in it, and they're going to catch out Rammus in a minute. Rammus is going to be able to get away from this one, I think. He just should be able to spin away. Actually got caught very nicely there. Leigh actually throwing himself into it. Harry does come around the side there. Tries to go straight for Attackman. Needs to be careful. Blunatics coming back up there. Now they're going to have to back away from this one because Aurelia's coming in. And Cease gets in as well. Karin is surely going down here. Leigh not going to be able to escape this one. It will be a Cease that picks it up. And that is a 2-for-1. I think they'll take that trade any day. 8-7. Meanwhile, down the bottom, you can see Demigod also going to get caught out there. Sand picking up the kill. Not exactly ideal. Sense would have been the best option, but when there's a kill to be had in a pretty crazy situation, I think it was Shatter actually that managed to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, Assis also getting that free farm in mid because just did get those kills. That's going to put him ahead on CS. Did have to go for the triple Doran's rings though. And we'll get a bit of damage on towards that mid turret. Top turret also being damaged now by Nezreal. Nezreal is actually tanking the turret. Needs to back away from that one. So we have another back from Severe now. Up to the Bloodthirster, Joe. Along with those Berserker Greaves. Meanwhile, Graves is slowly falling behind in CS. So GAMED looking like they're slowly pulling away in this one. They have that 1k advantage. Now it's looking like they're going to start sniffing around that dragon. You can see the Clairvoyants going down. Ward's place there as well. And everybody's starting to circle.
Yeah, they're definitely setting up for this one. They have to be very careful of Ahri. Full mana, full health, double buff as well. She's going to be very, very strong in this next team fight. Just putting out the Q there, trying to catch him. Actually, Gangplank going to drop his ulti in and amongst everything, but they are going to start diving in here. First target will be Attackman. Rammus actually managing to catch two of them off with the stun. Lee Sin going very, very low. Blunetix actually flashes himself out of there. Finally, they managed to take down Lee Sin, but we are surely going to see Nezreal go down. Not quite. He's got the help of Ahri there. They're now chasing off onto Far, who's actually used his flash. Was exhausted in the midst of everything as well. Actually gets double stun in the end. Can they get onto him at the end there? One more hit and it will actually go down. And well, Assis dropped in amongst everything else, but Demigod's going to fall here on the turret, plus the turret going down. And I tell you what, that wasn't half a bad fight for GAMED. Getting 4 kills, taking the turret down in the midst of everything as well. Great play from GAMED. A great fight for them, that one.
Yeah, and the dragon as well, just before it all happened.
Yep.
So it really worked in their favour. You can see the gold advantage immediately telling. And 4k from pretty much even just a minute ago. And they're going to push on towards this inner turret here. Irelia is going to have to try and back away from this one. He's going to surely get caught out. I don't think he's going to be able to escape this one. Turns around, tries to pop his ulti, tries to get that health regain. Does go on towards Blunetix there. Will get the kill on Blunetix. No, the shield from Lee Sin just about prevents it. And Nezreal has the confidence to stick around, despite that being a very high hit point. Lee Sin there. You can see Rammus spinning around. He wants to get on the back end of Blunetix, but I don't think it's going to happen. He was hoping he could pinch him out there. Yeah, you can see putting the ward down at red, hoping that he'd backed away. Instead, he just ported where he stood. And bottom also have backed away. They did put a little bit of damage on that bottom turret, but not a great deal. So we have a needlessly large rod now on Ahri. So Ahri actually starting to get into this one. 6-3-2, leading the kill scores in the mid there. Obviously picking up a lot of the pieces in those last few exchanges. Getting the 2 or 3 kills in amongst it. Blue buff now being given across to her as well. So Assis at the moment, despite having a tricky start against Rise in mid, certainly starting to come into this one. But Rise is obviously not slacking either. He's got himself that Banshee's Veil completed along with their Sorcerer's Boots. And Gangplank returns the lane, puts that ward wisely down in the river this time. Not going to get caught out. Is it a second or a third time? I think he's been caught out there. And that is the mid-turret push. And Gangplank's going to have to react to this one. Will have his ulti up, I believe. So probably going to try and prevent this push any second now. Doesn't actually bother using it. Doesn't really need to. Until there's a large creep wave there. Has pretty good defences. He's going to have problems himself though with Nezreal up the top there. Meanwhile, this 4-man push. They're going to rotate down towards the bottom, take the blue buff by the looks of it. Yeah, and I'm not too sure whether they could do anything about this, you know. I think GAMED are starting to take control of this one ever so slowly, making up for the problems they had in the semi-finals. And they are completely dominating the resources, taking down all the enemy jungle. You can see the ward placements as well. If you look towards the top of the jungle and the bottom, they have the ward placements down there. Good coverage. And GAMED really in full control. Now Aurelia has taken that top turret. He's going to go on towards Blunetix. Blunetix is going to try and walk away from this one. Pops his oranges ulti from Nezreal, so tries to dodge around. He has got the Ignite running. The Ignite just about runs out. 44 hit points. Surely one little bit of damage from Nezreal. He's going to try and get away from this one. I don't think he's going to be able to lose him in the jungle. There's just no way. He's going to try though with a 10-second timer. Can he outrun him and get to the timer, to the turret? It's got to be nearly 10 seconds already. If he just gets one hit from the turret, it will be just a self-kill, and that's exactly what he's going for. Waiting for that time, eats an orange just to make sure, and now he's thinking, no, you've not got away, you've got to keep running. He's got to die on a turret, and that's what he's finally going to be able to do. Yeah, and Aurelia realises that and backs away. Meanwhile, there is a big fight in the mid-jungle there, and that will be 3 more kills, sorry, because obviously Gangplank did just self-kill himself. And Nezrelis didn't get that, did he? No, Gangplank OP, says Aurelia. But this is game really now starting to look complete control. They've got 8k gold advantage. It's going to be the inner turret going down here as well. Meanwhile, Severe is actually keeping them both busy down the bottom. Wow. Far getting caught out by the boomerang. And that's the mid turret and possibly an inhibitor, Joe.
Yeah, I think they can push the whole way in here. I mean, Attackman and Lunatics are going to come up here in just a few seconds. Janna needs to be very careful there. They'll take that fight game if they get the chance to here. I mean, Aurelia is the one that's actually tanking it here as well, and Demigod is going to go down so easily. And look at Aurelia just hitting the turret herself, going to tank all that damage. In comes Leigh Sin. Sandy's surely going to go down, but that won't be the biggest of the worries now. I think that Glucosa is going to be the next target. Yes, they are going to take down Glucosa. But look at Nesrilla just in and amongst everything, doing a load of damage. Lunatic's going to go low. Finally, Nesrilla is finished off, and now Sensor's fancying his chances. He's actually got no mana there, which he needs to be careful about. Actually, Far will get himself out of there. Sense could possibly catch up with Far as well. No, he's going to be happy with what he's got, and they should be able to take this inhibitor. But wow, again, Aurelia, they decided not to focus her, and the thing is, she was on about half HP, but the life leech that she gets in there is just insane. She's back up to half HP if you don't, to full HP if you don't focus her and get her down.
Yeah, and of course the bonus of obviously multiple summoners being around all together obviously builds up her armor, etc. So lifesteal and just popping that ulti. Again, thanks very much. I'll just stay fighting while you you keep focusing me while everybody else does the damage. Severe obviously just popping that boomerang straight through the wall. And that has put GAMED in a huge position, huge advantage. 10,000 gold, 6 turrets up. It is a big position, I believe. Only the one dragon, which is a little bit odd. They are going to go for that second dragon. We are only 24 minutes into it, to be fair. So we have, look at that, Phantom Dancer and a second BF sword now on Severe. Severe picking up a couple of kills there, 5-1-4, so very, very strong. Rabadon's Death Cup also completed on Ari. Ari was doing a great job of just dashing in and out, laying down that damage, keeping it distance away from Rise, because Rise was trying his best to target her. Couldn't quite get him down though. And that's going to be the second dragon now picked up by GAMED to take them just another 1k ahead in that gold. So it's now 11. Aurelia's going to keep the pressure on the top here. And you can see Rammus trying to sneak around the side there. Yeah, wisely Graves does back away. They actually were getting drawn up towards Aurelia, which is not ideal. Now they've realised that GAMED pushing through mid. They have those super minions coming up. So they're going to take the advantage now and rotate up towards the top. Take down that inner turret. And they need to be careful they don't get caught out by this spinning Rammus. He's coming around the back, so he's going to go straight towards Demigod here. Demigod actually nicely and protected by Attackman. That will be the turret going down. I don't think Peculiar are going to try and fight for this one. Ari just popping the Banshee's Veil on Rise there. And they are going to push in towards this tower, Joe. And you know what? I just don't think they could do a lot about this. A good fight on a tower is what they need right now. Can GAMED really walk into the trap that they're hoping they can trigger?
Yeah, and that's the problem. GAMED, they've been pretty flawless in this game. I mean, it was really, really level until that fight around the dragon, which just went amazingly well for GAMED, and they've pulled very steeply ahead now. Obviously, a good 12k gold there in the lead, and we are going to see them moving onto this turret. Actually, not focusing. Actually, Attackman will be drawn out there by Ari. Ulti goes off from Janna, but is it going to be enough? I think this is going to be an ace right here. Far having to get himself out there. There goes the fourth man as well, and it's Ari that's just racking him up, Deman. Ridiculous 11-3-6 right now. And that's going to mean if they survive this bit somehow, then the next push is going to be the end anyway. Yeah,
trying to get a flash on towards Far there, trying to taunt him out. Will they manage to get the stun in? They want to fountain dive him. They do want that ace. They are going to fountain dive. Nesrilla's just about getting away with it. Glucosa just about getting away with it. Concentrate on the game instead of that fountain dive. They want the ace to finish it, but that's going to be the Nexus turret going down. And the first game to GAMED. 23, it's going to be 24 I think. As soon as they come into, everybody dives in. There could be multiple kills as he's trying to get away. As will go down actually. The Nexus turret yet to go down. Will get surely finished off by those super minions beating on it, and Ezreal also finishes it. And that will be GAMED taking it. I missed the score at the end there because it went a little bit crazy, but pretty confident stuff throughout there. Despite having first blood obviously going to Peculiar, on Aurelia, but certainly came back into it. And a cease on Ari, just proving how strong Ari is. It's going to be an interesting coming into a major tournament that actually the tournament client doesn't have Ari in it yet, I believe. Probably will do before IEM Kiev, though, I guess.
I hope so, because we've seen some great player. I know that SK are a massive fan of her as well. And, SK, there's a little bit of talk about that. I guess I'm going to save that talk until, the 3 minutes that we desperately need topics for in between those games. Let's bring up the post-match screen for you here as well. And you can see exactly how it went. Sivia 5-1-8 and up to 11.2k gold, 200 CS. Had the Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer and Bloodthirster in that. And if you compare that to what Graves had, Infinity Edge, Zeal and the Vampiric Scepter, it kind of tells the story on its own. No more comments needed on that one. Ari 11-4-6, obviously boosted by the torrent of kills at the end. 2-3-10 for Tariq, 3-2-10 for Aurelia, 2-4-14 for Ramos. Over on the other side, Lee Sin 0-6-12. It looked so good for Lee Sin at the start as well. He had a load of assists, but after that, just didn't quite get into things, I'd say. Then Gangplank, obviously, Lunatic 3-5-7, Rise 6-6-7, Graves 5-1-3. That was, the hope that they had, I guess, that Graves might get himself a little bit of extra farm. He wasn't too far behind in the CS, all things considered, compared to Sivia. And then Janet 0-6-8, and that is going to put Gamed 1-0 up in this matchup.
Yeah, and a very good performance from Gamed. Called it at the start, if I do like saying so myself. They did look good before Christmas, and obviously still looking very good. So it is a best of 3 tonight, isn't it? So we are going to have potentially another 2 games, Joe. But I guess we'll have a quick break and get straight towards the second one.
Yeah, quick break, and I'll just stick some music on, and then we'll start off with the second match. So don't go anywhere. It's Gamed versus Peculiar Match 2, and it's coming up here in just a moment.